Have you ever felt that what you have or what you are doing is not enough? Or is it even going to make a difference in somebody else's lives? We are looking at something fishy this week, lessons from a fish. And today, how can I not do that famous story where 5,000 men, not including the women and children, start to get hungry. They've been listening to Jesus all day and now they're hungry. And the disciples come to Jesus and they start looking for food. And the only thing they found, we find in John chapter 6, verse 9, when they said, "Then a boy approached Jesus holding 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. The disciples still doubted. Andrew said, "But how far will they go among so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there. Jesus then took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed those who were seated as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. When they had all had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted." So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with the pieces of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. After people saw the sign Jesus performed, they began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world." There are so many wonderful messages that we can learn from this story. But I want to focus on the end, where the people start to proclaim this could be the prophet to come at the end of the world. You know, that declaration, that revelation would not have been able to come unless there was a little boy who was willing to give up his 5 loaves and 2 fish. That little boy decided that what he had, he wasn't even going to give it to the disciples. He was going to give it straight to Jesus. And Jesus took it, he gave thanks, he multiplied it more than they ever needed. But it started with a little boy deciding that what he had was enough. He didn't listen to what Andrew said, where he doubted, "Oh, how are we going to use this to feed so many?" We need to stop listening to the doubts of people around us, even our own doubts, and realize that when we surrender what we have in our hands to Jesus, he's able to bless it, he's able to multiply it, and use what we have to touch so many lives and bring him the glory. That when people see what happens with our little loaves and fishes, they will say, "Isn't this Jesus, the Savior of the world? I want what you have." Never doubt that what you're doing is not good enough or is never going to make an impact. Give what you have to Jesus and watch him touch those lives around you. Always remember, you are highly favored and deeply loved.